Good morning. It is another day. It is Sunday, and because it's Sunday, I've decided I'm gonna have hot dogs for breakfast. Yeah, we're gonna have hot dogs today. I hope you're well. I hope everything's been going okay for you. It's been tough for many people, but yesterday we had so much fun. My cousin's birthday, oh my god, it was so much fun, and my friend was super elated, and they were so hospitable towards her. They were so nice. You know, Kenyans are so hospitable, they just make me happy, you know? My friend just enjoyed herself. She just couldn't stop talking about Kenyan family and how nice she felt to have, because my aunt was there, my cousin was there, her daughter was there. So it was women of various ages. It was so wonderful, good for the soul, just good for the heart, good for the spirit. And this is what we need to do. We need to come together more often as family members. I kind of proposed this idea to the ladies that why don't we set up a WhatsApp group so that we can celebrate each other's birthdays or just have opportunities just to meet together. If you're living in the same environment, same neighborhood, you can meet up for coffee. Instead of going for coffee by yourself, you can find out who's going for coffee. I want to go for coffee. I want to go for tea. Or invite someone over. Because guys, you know, this is part of self-care. This is part of your mental health. It's very important for us to continue communicating, interacting, and getting energy from each other, exchanging energy. It's very important. So this morning, like I said, I'm going to have hot dogs for breakfast. Maybe hot dog roll and some tea. Today I just feel, because I ate, you know what happens, yeah? If you eat very well on one day, the next day you're starving literally. Don't worry about the black eyes under me because it looks like someone punched me. Nobody punched me, by the way. It's just genetic. It's genetic. Some people have these black marks under their eyes, so I'm always struggling to cover them up with makeup. But in the morning, you think I'm going to do that. No, I'm not. And anyway, we just have to accept it as part of aging. I also saw that in wildlife, cheetahs have this black stuff here. It's actually supposedly a sort of a UV protection for the eyes. Do you know that? This black stuff, they say that it's thinning of the eyes and whatever it is, but for animals, it's UV protection. It's a sort of sunscreen. So maybe this is our sunscreen and we're trying to get rid of it. You know, we really should know better, you know. I could be, you know, like my friend was asking me, what is that extra mirror that is put in front of a bonnet of a car? You know, the bonnet in the front of the car. Why is there that little tiny mirror? Is it useful? And then I learned from people who are good with cars or who understand vehicles that it just means that the car is fully loaded. That this car, you know, it has everything. It has the airbags, usually. It has the airbags or whatever it is for that season. It is fully loaded. All the, you know, all the features that a car should have, basically. Anyway, I don't think I'm making any sense. It's morning. So let's make these hot dogs, guys. And also let's remember that our mental health is so important. Hopefully we're going to have a mental health show tonight, the live show. It's important to have these live discussions. And I have to hold this thing up like this. It's a little bit of a mess. I'm living in a little cottage, so don't worry. Don't worry about your living arrangements. By the way, that's another thing, you know, sometimes people feel embarrassed or they feel a little bit nervous about inviting people to their homes because of the way they're living. Maybe they're living in a smaller house than their friend or whatever. There's a lot of competition. But really, it doesn't matter. It does not matter where you live as long as you can share a meal together, you can share energy together, positive vibes. Exchange ideas. It's so good for our mental health, guys. Let's kill isolation. Let's kill isolation. It's a very bad thing, very bad for the body. Sometimes, of course, we need time to be by ourselves. Yes, definitely, I agree with that. But a lot of the other times, we also need to socialize with other people and be affirmed and affirm others. I think it's important. So anyway, before I continue chatting on, let's go on and make the stuff. By the way, we rely on a borehole here, and I think we have some sort of problem with either the borehole or maybe an airlock. So I kind of woke up and found that there's no water. So anyway, we'll sort that one out. That's the thing, you know, when you're living off-grid, let's say you're living off-grid, because, you know, some of us are living off-grid not because we want to, but because we're forced to, yeah? Sometimes you live off-grid because maybe the government is not providing the water or electricity or whatever. So you could be signed on to the water company, but they're not providing the water, so they're kind of like forcing you to live off grid, which is ridiculous. Yeah? But anyway, it's okay. Sooner than later. One day we're gonna have control. We still have the borehole, by the way. But sometimes boreholes collapse, and they misbehave. So sometimes it might not be working and it'd be so annoying. Oh yeah, the other thing I'm gonna have is today I'm gonna have a full breakfast. I'm gonna boil some of this yellow corn. Why do I do that? Because I generally like to have vegetables as much as possible because of roughage. Yeah, it's good because of, well, I don't think we use that word roughage anymore. It's because of fiber. Having a fibrous diet is good because it helps your digestive system. And apart from fiber, by the way, is also the vitamins and minerals. I really believe that vegetables are the key to our health. And we should eat as much as possible because it also helps you have that full feeling. Yeah, I'm just washing them. You'll see one. Vegetables help you have the full feeling. Yeah. Guys, this morning I wanted to talk to you. I wanted us to discuss this issue of missing our loved ones when they're abroad. I'm really feeling in a lazy mood this morning, but I was thinking to myself, don't we miss our loved ones when they're abroad? Just look at the way I'm sitting, yeah? That's me this morning. I'm feeling lazy. I just fed my monkeys, of course, guys. I'm all about transparency and accountability. And one of the ways to be transparent and accountable is to come to you without makeup sometimes. So I don't have to always be worried about my looks. Because really, being natural is also good. It's good to be natural. It's good to give your skin a break. Not always be covered in makeup all the time. So it's morning, guys, and I'm relaxed here. I'm sitting with my leg up on the chair. Can you see? Sometimes, we just want to sit comfortably. Yeah. So I thought this morning to talk to you about something interesting. That, how I feel after seeing my friend is like I wanted to cry. Yeah. I was so happy to see her. So happy to see her. It's been so many years. Yeah, we're both looking older. We admitted to each other. We're much older. Can you believe the last time I saw her was probably like 25 years ago? Yeah, a long time ago. And that time passes. And sure, there are changes that, happen in our lives. Of course, the monkeys are trying to come in, guys, this morning, despite the fact that I gave them watermelon. Anyway, let me stick to the topic. The thing is, nobody tends to discuss one of the big elephants in the room about when you travel and then you meet new people, or when your family is abroad, or you're all scattered all over the nations. People don't really talk about the fact that we really miss each other. What it means to create friendships and then have to break them so that you can travel, so that you can relocate, and so that you can go after the goals and dreams, inspirations, and also, the mission of your own life, because everybody's life has a mission, isn't it? Yeah. Things change, circumstances change, family requirements change, and also people change their mind about where it is that they want to live. But apart from relocating geographically, the idea of relocating your mind, relocating your friends, you can't do that. You can't relocate your friends. You can't relocate your acquaintances, your co-workers, your environment. You cannot relocate the environment even. Yeah. So it becomes so difficult, guys, to move. Moving is hard. And then, even if you keep in touch online and you keep in, you write letters to each other, you're calling, WhatsApping, whatever, it's still not the same as engaging with somebody directly. Again, there are many families, for example, in Africa, and Asia, in the global south, there are many families that have had to be separated because their children went to look for jobs, to look for opportunities in better places. I mean, in different countries, okay, in the global north, basically, mostly north and west, and sometimes east now, yeah. But nobody really talks about the impact on the family. It's a very difficult thing to have your family member or your friends, especially your family member, live abroad, or to lose your friends who become your family. Like, for example, I'll tell you, yeah, when my son comes here for holiday, like especially the first few times when he was in university in the US, when he would come to Kenya for holiday in December, we'd have waited for him for an entire year, sent him his ticket so that he could come. And then the friends are calling him. So the friends would be calling him like, hey, don't forget that you have friends back, that you have family over here. So spend Christmas with your parents or whatever, and then New Year's with us, because we are also your family. And I was really surprised, how these children or how these young people love each other and what kind of obligation they have to one another, that we have to share my own son, yeah, who I haven't seen in a whole year, with them over Christmas. Because Christmas and holidays are such lonely periods that even they themselves, even if they're Americans, some of them are not even seeing their family members during that period. So I just wanted us to encourage us to, create families wherever we go, to have an open mind, yes, but also to try our best to see our family members who are living abroad as much as possible. Like now I just realized the last time I traveled to the US was 2015 when my son graduated from university. That's 10 years ago. And now 2025 is when I'm going to go back. Although I believe in the cycle of life, I think also that I should have prioritized maybe. It's about making it a priority. I should have prioritized going there, because actually he has been coming here almost every year. So he has made maybe 10 or more trips back home over the period when I have made no trips. It's important to know where my son is living, how he's living, who are his friends, kind of step into his world so that I can get a closer relationship with him and understand him better. Because he understands me, because he knows my world. The next thing also, I live in Wales as well with my family, so he needs to come over and see me there. It's going to cost a lot of money, but I think it's all about priorities. It's important to make it a priority. The idea also of travel, yesterday when my friend was, in the company of all my relatives and at my cousin's party, there was a discussion that came up about, is it safe to travel to the US during the Trump era? Some people are feeling afraid of traveling to the US. Even some European countries have issued travel alerts to their citizens not to travel to the US because of the fear, of, being stopped or being searched, whatever, at the airport, or whatever it is, And we talked about one celebrity in Kenya who's apparently traveling the US and doesn't care. She's going around the place and enjoying herself. And I think it's true. We should not use social media. We should just go ahead with our plans, because we don't know where our lives are going to end up and what we're going to be missing by not traveling. Remember all those years that they were issuing travel alerts against Kenya, and yet Kenya was relatively safe. Yeah, even in those places where they had the travel alerts. It's just because travel advisories, actually, not travel alerts, travel advisories. Yes, we should all be alert when we are traveling. And we also know that it's a risk to travel, but it's very important to travel. I'm telling this to myself because I'm soon going to travel back to the US. And I have a lot of other things to complete, to funga here. There's a lot of stuff I have to do before I go. At the same time, as much as I'm looking forward to seeing my son, I'm also going to be a little bit concerned because I'll be leaving my mom, who's not well, here. But anyway, I've set up the systems as much as possible together with my sister and my brother. And so the three of us have figured it. So I think, all we have to do, you can't stop your life. You have to allow yourself to just continue living, and make sure that we are in touch with our relatives. Important for their mental health and ours. And also important to go see your friends. If you made friends abroad and then you traveled and relocated back to your country, if it's possible for you to invite them, if it's easier for them to travel, invite them to come stay with you or to come and visit you.
and be there for them as much as possible. I've been there for my friend, and I've offered myself completely to her for the 10 days that she's here. Yeah. So that she feels comfortable and doesn't feel isolated. And she's the one who's telling me, hey, you go do your stuff, I'm good. I've organized my travel safaris and this and that. I'm like, yes, good, fabulous, as long as I know that my friend is comfortable in the country and that she's safe. Yeah. So basically, anyway, hey, Mr. Monkey, where do you think you're going? Hey, hey, go away, go away, go away, go away. As a monkey is trying to come in here, guys. Look at him. Can you see him? Let me turn this camera. These monkeys are so daring, There's one at the window over there. There's another one's trying to come in. But anyway, these guys, they never... I read somewhere that monkeys are actually God's naughty animals. They're associated with deviance and being naughty and rebellion. And sure they are, but I just find them playful. And that's another thing, we were discussing with my friend that the way we look at animals in Africa, we see them as in a very different light compared to very many people. We understand that animals are actually part of nature and they're part of our well-being. We need them. We need the animals. So the idea of, going and annihilating animals is just not with Africans. We take what we need from them and we leave them alone as much as possible. Again, we don't really have a desire, most of us, to cage them up, lock them up, control them, put them behind a glass door or a caged fence. That's not part of our African tradition. We understand that freedom belongs to every living being, including animals and humans. So guys, our freedom, just as much as we're free to travel, free to not travel, free to be, it's also important that animals be free. That even if you are going to look after animals, wildlife or whatever, that in the end, that they remain free. So I'm really not into the idea of caging animals at all, except for domestic animals, which need to be caged for their own well-being, actually. Things like, cows, goats. There are some animals that are supposed to be not necessarily caged, but at least protected, and fed and all that, because you're using them maybe for food and for protection, like dogs and things like that. And you know that if you leave them out in the wild, they might actually face hostility from other people, or they might actually die. But wildlife should be let to be free, really. They are supposed to be left free in the wild. Their life, and just because you're feeding an animal doesn't mean that you should now lock him up and cage him up and from now on you be in control. No, it's not about being in control of wildlife. It's about understanding that you cannot be everything to an animal and you cannot be everything to another person. You have to allow people to be free. Freedom is so important. Yeah, so anyway, we're going to have the freedom I have right now is to eat a wonderful meal. I'm going to have a nice breakfast. So I hope you guys enjoyed that chat. Some of you, I see you commenting and I really appreciate it. So these are not structured discussions, conversations. These are just times when I just want to chat and talk. I'll just get online and chat. These are just, kind of random chats, random topics, random chats. And I think we should be free to just talk because it's my way of engaging with you and also bringing up topics which are probably relevant to us. So we're talking about, today I was talking about, what eating healthy, which is something that we really have to do. We have to watch ourselves, not just because of our weight, but also because of our health. My friend was reminding me about so many of my friends who have, left us in the US. She was telling me, so-and-so, they passed away, so-and-so, they got sick. And then she also told me some good news about someone who actually had reconstructive surgery for colon cancer, which is amazing. I really can't wait to sit down and have a sit down with my friend, because yesterday was mainly just introducing her to Kenya. But she's actually good with the camera and quite comfortable with it. So Ruthie, thank you so much. And welcome to Kenya, Ruthie. And I call her Ruthie. All my friends, I don't call them by their names. I always add something to it. If it's Anne, it's Annie. If it's Ruth, it's Ruthie. That's just who I am. It's just a term of endearment, because if I really like somebody, I feel close to them. I just want to bring them close to me and give them my own name. As what's in a name? A name is it has many meanings, and we need to go into that one day and not today. So, guys, I wish you a nice Sunday, and I think I'm actually going to publish this particular video before I publish the other one, because this one is a precursor to the evening show that we're gonna have tonight with Susan, and I want to invite you to it. Let's talk about mental health. Let's talk about keeping in touch with friends and relatives abroad, and also once you do relocate, also maintaining those relationships and friendships because of our mental health, emotional health, and also because we're always trying to build each other up. Yeah, and so if there are people who are very close to you, who are there for you, who stood by you, try to give back as much as possible. And again, allow people to be free, allow animals to be free, because freedom is everything, and without it, the world will just be chaotic without freedom. So guys, thank you so much for your time. Love you, and yeah, take care and see you tonight. To-dos. Cheers. Remember, by the way, to thumbs up the video all the time. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. And subscribe. Thank you for the new subscribers. And also just come on board, because do your best to promote me on YouTube, because as you know, it's not easy. YouTube is doing its best. Yes, they're doing their best, but I think they could do better, to promote me. But I did see that Facebook said that they were expanding my reach. They're expanding the reach of the channel because of the quality content that we're putting out, which is very, very good, very encouraging. So thank you, Facebook, and I hope that YouTube will also expand my reach because of the quality content that I put out. Okay, guys. Bye. Have a good one, guys. Talk to you tonight. Cheers. Kwaherini. Tuonane tena leo usiku. Kwaherini.